Well, welcome everyone. My name is Faith Gunderson. I'm the marketing coordinator here at Schaefertz and Dean. And this is Doug Dean, our managing partner and owner.
Thank you, Faith. For those of you who don't know me and know our firm, Schaefertz and Dean is a real estate closing firm with 12 offices across Metro Atlanta. One thing that's always been important to our firm is giving back to the real estate agent community that we serve. One way we do that is I teach continuing ed classes, typically a minimum of one a month. Pre-COVID, it was closer to 3, 4, or 5 CE classes each month. Another thing that we decided to try in this 2021 calendar year is what we call the Business Builder Speaker Series. And I want to congratulate you today for being our inaugural class for the Schaefertz and Dean Business Builder Series. It is the third Wednesday of every month at 1 o'clock. So you can go ahead and put that in your calendar every third Wednesday at 1 o'clock. We want to deliver great speakers that will deliver outstanding value to help you grow your business. And Faith?
Yeah, we just wanted to thank you for being here. We know you have a lot going on. You have other things to do, so we appreciate you giving us your time. And so to make the most of your time, we encourage you to ask questions, participate, utilize the chat box. Doug or I will be kind of looking at it, and we can let Denny know if there's any questions or anything. But before I go ahead and introduce Denny, I want to let you all know about next month's series with Peter. And he will discuss how to use LinkedIn and networking to grow your business. So don't miss that, February 17th, the third Wednesday of the month at 1 p.m. And we're looking forward to seeing you all there too. So welcome, Denny, Chief Marketing Officer of Real Estate Connections Group and Real Estate Coach. Take it away.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Just for some house cleaning before I dive in. Am I going to be able to share my screen, or am I just having a conversation?
No. I am making you the host. You
Awesome.
are now the host, so you should be able to share your screen, Denny.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. And for those of you that don't know me, before I dive in, we're going to be talking today about what I call the vaccine, which is how you can make 2021 your best year ever. And of course, I'm kind of playing on all of the craziness from 2020. And I know if you're anything like me, I started 2020 with these grandiose ideas and all of these plans. And at the end of Q1, all of that blew up, and we all found ourselves in a year of pivoting and changing directions and making adjustments. And then, fortunately for us, real estate turned out to have a really great year. And I think we were hoping that the 2020 hangover would be gone and that 2021 would be, back to business as usual. And frankly, it just doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So a lot of the things that we did in 2020, I think will really serve you in 2021. And we're going to have that conversation as to how, regardless of the incoming administration or any of their policies or COVID, whether it, lingers or stays, or, all this uncertainty around all these things that basically we don't have any control over. So there's no need to stress about it. But what can you do regardless of who's in the White House or what policies they come up with or what happens with COVID or whether we go in lockdown or whether we can do business or what happens on the real estate front? Like, how can you thrive and make this a great year? And not just in 2021, but every year after that. So that's the conversation I want to have with you. As Faith mentioned, I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of Real Estate Connections, and really mentor. My lifelong passion is mentoring aspiring entrepreneurs. That could be real estate investors or realtors. And for those of you that don't know us, my partner Peter and I, he was the lead character on A&E's Flip This House. I watched him on TV and had a very successful career in none other than marketing and business development, and wanted to transition into real estate. And around that time, he was off TV. We met, we became fast friends, started a networking group called Real Estate Connections. And here we are 10 years later, hundreds of flips. Up until COVID, we had never missed a month of Real Estate Connections. It's the first Thursday of every month. So we get like 300 to 400 real estate professionals to that event every single month. And then many of you are probably members of our thriving Facebook group, which has over 20,000 members. So I added retail real estate and got my license a couple of years ago. And in the beginning, really tried all the things that, they teach you in most brokerages and most, team leaders or trainers, they teach you when you get into the business. But unfortunately, a lot of that stuff was, effective in 1987, maybe not so much in 2021. I'm not saying that you should stop doing anything that's working for you. You shouldn't. But I want to share with you some of the things that I've learned that work really, really well in 2021, with or without a pandemic, with or without Republicans or Democrats. It really doesn't matter. This is the stuff that will continue to be relevant, not only this year, but moving forward. And it's also, in my opinion, the best way that you can build a business that supports your desired lifestyle, not a lifestyle to support your business. Like, let me ask you a quick question. Did you get into real estate to be your own boss, to have more freedom, to have more flexibility, to make more money, to have more free time, to be able to enjoy life, to be able to travel and have nice things and spend time with your family and all the things that come with being an entrepreneur? I think that probably describes most people that got into real estate. But what most people find when they get into real estate is that all of a sudden, instead of having more free time, more money, more flexibility, more freedom, you spend all of your time working from not paycheck to paycheck, but even worse, commission check to commission check. And you're really running your business out of your bank account. And now you have to decide, like, can I go on a vacation, or can I take my family out to dinner, or can I buy this new TV, or can I give this money to my church, or can I insert thing that you want to do with your money? Or do I need to buy some leads or invest in my business or hire a coach? And you're sitting there in this quandary, like, I need to make more money. I need to invest in my business. I need to invest in myself. I need to grow my business. But at the same time, I have this lifestyle that I'm trying to support and ultimately grow and, prepare for the future. And you've got all these dynamics that you're trying to juggle. And so here's what I've learned. Most realtors don't have the resources to invest $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 a month in Zillow leads. Most realtors can't buy a billboard. Most realtors can't invest tons of money, thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, in order to start their business. And they're coming into a business where they're competing with that, some more established people with those budgets. So how do you compete? And here's the cool thing about what we're going to talk about today. Everything we're going to talk about can literally be just you and your cell phone, which I think every realtor comes to the business with a license and a cell phone. So what I call real marketing, or what I call marketing, is simply selling yourself to your prospect before you meet them. See, I don't ever call my friends and family. I don't ask if they're in the market to buy or sell. I don't ask if they know anyone that's in the market to buy or sell. I don't go on listing presentations. I don't go on buyer presentations. So how is it that I consistently do 5 million plus every year, working probably 10 to 15 hours a week as a realtor? Now, obviously I do a lot more with my investing business and Real Estate Connections and all the other things that we've got going on, but I don't put your typical 40, 50, 60 hours a week. Inman just did a annual survey of all the realtors, and they found out that over 70% of realtors work over 50 hours a week. And while a lot of them have, a lot of fulfillment in their business and they enjoy it, most of them want to know how to make more and work less so they have better work-life balance. So when it comes to marketing, I believe that if you do this correctly, you can actually get your phone to ring with people that want to hire you, so that when you do get a referral, so that when you do have an opportunity, you don't have to spend so much time selling yourself, because they already know you. They like you, they trust you, and they want to hire you. So that's what marketing is. But here's, from a mindset perspective, what you have to kind of come to grips with before you even get started, because so many of us have perfectionitis, right? We think how do I look? Or what if I say something wrong? Or what if I make a mistake and everyone's going to see me? Well, the reality is you're never going to be perfect, right? And my 7-year-old will tell you, if someone says practice makes perfect, she'll correct them and say, no, practice makes progress. See, we'll never be perfect. The idea is that you want to get better and better. So progress over perfection. So all you got to do is do the important things that others aren't willing to do. See, most people want to do the fun stuff. Most people want to do the glamorous stuff. Most people want to do the things that at the end of the day aren't exactly what make you any money. So we need to get you in the game, get you going, and have you making money. So in that, yes, Peter is a very analytical by nature, and that's what makes us a great partnership in our business. But I am one of those who's like ready, go, aim, ready, fire, aim. Like I need about 20% of the information to get started, because what I've learned is that you can think about it, talk about it, read about it, and study it, but action reveals options that analysis never will. See, you have to get in the game in order to get the information you need. So if you can just get going, if you can start the race, well, when you get to the curve, you can see further, but you can never see the finish line from the starting line. So you got to get going. Action reveals options, analysis never will. Now we're going to talk about, in marketing, there's active marketing and passive marketing. So active is literally the prospecting. It's making phone calls, reaching out to people, touching base. It's being what I call a hunter. A hunter, if they're hungry, they go out, they kill something, they bring it home and we eat. And you should do that because you do need to make money. But passive is like farming. You till the soil, you plant the seed, you water it, you nurture it, and then there's a crop and a harvest. And if you get really good at farming, well, then your dependence on hunting goes down. You don't have to be so aggressive on the front end as to the active business building. Doesn't mean you'll ever stop, but if you can do both in the beginning and ultimately focus on the passive stuff, develop that crop over time, it's like the gift that just keeps on giving. And that's the kind of marketing that I want to talk to you about. So old school, you would be like radio, newspaper, magazine, billboards, TV, and you could even lump in things like your name tag, car magnets, mailers, door knocking, calling everyone in your phone. That's like a really old school way to build a business, and it can work. But let me ask you this. How many people were knocking on doors in the middle of COVID when there was a pandemic, right? Like, no, couldn't do that. So a lot of these things, like as things change, you have to evolve. And back then that was very expensive. If you were going to be Mark Spain and put billboards all over Atlanta, like that's an expensive proposition, but you can compete with and beat Mark Spain. If you do what I'm talking about, you can compete with and beat Zillow. Zillow's making all kinds of decisions, which are not necessarily great for the individual realtor. I mean, that's their businesses. They want to own residential real estate. So they're not making decisions based on your best interest. It's their best interest. So how can you compete with Mark Spain? How can you compete with Zillow? How can you carve out your piece of the pie? And in my opinion, that would be things like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, TikTok, blogs, podcast, YouTube. I'm telling you, all of this stuff is at your fingertips 24/7. And the best part is it's exactly where your prospect lives every single day. I didn't even think it was possible, but during the pandemic, consumption of social media went up, which means when everyone was stuck at home on their phone, you could be in their face 24/7. So how do you stand out from the sea of 2 million agents in the United States? And how do you break through all of the noise on social media and all of the distractions and all of the things that are going on? And I'm here to tell you, it's not by doing what everyone else is doing. It's not by aligning yourself and your brand with your brokerage. You are not Realtor Bob with Keller Williams. I'm sorry. There's 150,000 other people with Keller Williams doing home tours and posting your closing photo at Schaefertz and Dean with your client. Like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do any of that, but if that's your idea of a marketing strategy, if your brand is your name, realtor at your brokerage, everyone's doing that. So how do you stand out from the crowd? And that is, you develop a personal brand. What's a personal brand? It's the one thing that no one else has. And that is you. What makes you uniquely you. So in order to do this, here's what I really want I want to set in. See, people always talk about, you can post in any group in real estate and be like, all my 6-figure agents or multiple 6-figure realtors, like, how do you build your business? And there'll be 1,000 different ways. I promise you, 1,000 different ways to make 6 figures in real estate. By the way, 997 of them, of which you will hate. The key to being successful is finding the 2 or 3 things that work for you and that you like doing. And that is key, because if you don't like it, you won't do it. So when I talk about a lot of these strategies, like, the realtors that quit are the ones that try 1 or 2 things and then give up. Like, don't do that. And this may be just the breakthrough that you were looking for. I personally tried the lead thing, like generating leads myself, buying leads from other vendors and doing all that stuff. And it just really, everyone said, do that. I was like, I'm not going to knock it till I try it. I tried it. I hated it. It didn't work for me, and was expensive and time consuming and painful. Like, shoot me in the face. I didn't want to do it. But what I did know is that I'm a relationship guy. I know a lot of people. A lot of people kind of like me, and doing business with people that you know, like, and trust is a good business model. And so what I got to thinking is, like, how do you grow your sphere of influence? And your sphere of influence is no longer the people in your neighborhood and the people in your phone. It's the people in Facebook and Instagram and all the social media accounts. So the way that you grow your influence, your sphere, is through content. And what I mean by content is, the pictures, the images, the videos, the things you're posting online. Your content can actually connect you with new people. It's like meeting new people. It's like going to Real Estate Connections, except for Real Estate Connections group on Facebook, not the actual event. So you can connect with people. You can establish your influence and your authority through the content that you produce. You can build relationships, which literally is the gift that keeps on giving. Every time you do a video, every time you post something of value and other people see it. I've got a post in our group that I posted over a week ago, and it's like, it has over 600 comments and people are still talking about it. That post took me like 10 minutes. Now the follow-up took me a lot longer than that, but it literally sits there and connects you with people. Now, speaking of follow-up, the reason that this strategy I say is like the follow-up on autopilot is because when people connect with you on social media, like, you don't have to call your friends and family and your connections in your sphere and remind them, like, hey, are you in the market? Are you looking to buy or sell? Do you know anyone looking to buy or sell? If you do this right, they're constantly being exposed to you online. They're constantly being reminded that you are their go-to resource. So you don't have to spend so much time proactively. Now, I'm saying you shouldn't ever call someone, or you shouldn't ever try to cultivate a relationship. You should, but you can do that with far more people using technology. And ultimately, the end game is that you build strong relationships with more people and have you at the top of their mind when they're ready to buy or sell. Because less than 5% of anybody is ready to, in the market right now, which means out of 20 people, 1 is in the market. And the last thing you want to do is alienate 19 of the 20 people trying to find the one that might hire you. Does that make sense? So when you create content, one of the things that I see a lot, one of the mistakes I see a lot of realtors making is that when they start going down this path, next thing you know, they're like, oh my gosh, I got to create content for Facebook, and I got to create content for LinkedIn. I got to create content for Instagram and TikTok, and I can do all these different places. And that will wear you out. I'm just here to warn you, like, you will drive yourself mad. So the way that you create content with limited time is that you do what's called content syndication. It's when you create the piece of content, let's say it's a video, and then you repurpose it because different platforms have different dimensions and sizes. So you repurpose it for the specific platform you're going to be. So some are vertical, some are horizontal, some are square, right? And then you distribute it across all platforms. You take that one video and you share it everywhere, not just in one place. And then you take that longer video and you break it up into smaller videos. You could take a 10-minute video and have a couple of 1-minute videos. You could have, a couple of 15 to 20-second stories, and you could stream 4 or 5 of those together. And you could do that on LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook. You could take that one long video and put it on Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook. And so you see what I'm saying? Like, you repurpose your best stuff, distribute it, and then reuse it. See, if you have the fear is that if you do it once, everybody sees it. And I'm here to tell you, most people don't see your post. If you have 1,000 friends, 10 to 20 might see your post. So if it's really good and it goes kind of viral, maybe 50 people see it. But the reality is, if it went viral and it was really, really good, and let's say 100 people see it, well, that still means 900 people didn't see it. So 3 months, 6 months later, you could redo the same video. You could reshare it. You could redo the same concept. We do it all the time. And the reality is, the new people will appreciate it. And the people that saw it before, I have never had one person say, hey, I saw you do that video 6 months ago. Like, I don't like you anymore because you redid it. You know what they said? Hey, thanks for sharing that again. I forgot. It really made a big impact the first time. I didn't implement, I didn't execute, and I appreciate the reminder. So content syndication is reusing your best stuff across multiple platforms so that you don't have to spend so much time making new stuff over and over and over. But the key to getting more reach, the key to getting more engagement is to not be an infomercial. See, people are so bombarded by sales pitch after sales pitch after sales pitch, right? So you don't want to be an infomercial. You don't want to be Realtor Bob. There actually are realtors named Bob with Keller Williams, so I should probably not say that all the time. I'm just trying to keep it generic. You know what I mean? But you don't want to be Realtor Bob, and you don't want to be doing your listing just listed or just sold, or here's my home tour, or here's my closing photo, or Realtor Bob, because people actually want to know you. And so what you should be considering when it comes to your content strategy is, like, what are you passionate about? What gets you excited? What would you like to talk about if you weren't talking about real estate so much? And for me, those things are fitness. They're my faith journey. They're my family and my kids. And yes, I do like real estate and real estate investing and retail real estate. And that is a piece of it, but that's not all of who I am. That's a very small fraction. So for you, it should be the same thing. Most of your content should be you and things you're passionate about. What do people naturally ask you about? I did a video earlier. It was like my pre-workout drink and the things that I put in there. And that's because I've been playing soccer and working out for 40 years. So I probably know a couple of things. I've put in my 10,000 hours. I know, a lot about that particular topic. So I talk about it because I'm passionate about it. So what do people naturally ask you about and not related to real estate? Now, that doesn't mean you can't do a real estate education video series. You should, specifically to your target market, but that shouldn't be all you're doing. It should be less than 20% of what you're doing. So what interests you or what excites you? And what would you enjoy creating content around? So I always say, what would you do if you weren't building your business? So many people, they go out to build their business. And this goes back to me saying you shouldn't build a lifestyle to support your business. You should build a business to support your lifestyle. So what are the things that you would normally go do anyway? And just go do that and then share that with people. Now, if if content is king, video is queen. And I am, side note, plug. We are starting a 21-day video challenge for realtors on February 1st in about a week and a half. That's going to be a Monday, so not next Monday, but the following Monday. Go to realestateconnections.co, C-O, realestateconnections.co/REC live, RECLIVE, to join the challenge. And it is going to be a video challenge teaching you everything you need to know about this specific topic, meaning video will make your reach and engagement on social media skyrocket compared to a written or even a picture post. It is in live video is even more engaging, 3 times more engaging. Someone watch a live video 3 times longer than they do a recorded and posted video. This trend is not slowing down. It's not going anywhere. It's only going to get bigger. I started talking about this years ago. If you go to my personal Facebook page, you can look back. I did terrible videos years ago. And a few years from now, I'll look at my current videos and be like, those were awful. And see, it's not about being perfect. It's about progress. But I highly, highly, highly recommend that you embrace creating video for your marketing. Now, wow. Sorry, I just had my email pop up in the middle of me talking. I don't know if y'all could see that or not, but it was super, super distracting for me. So, wow. Run through my whole screen too, of course. There we go. That was painful. Anyway, back to video. So this trend is continuing to grow, and I really want to encourage you to embrace it now. So what makes a great video? And if you don't remember anything else, just remember this. In order to create a great video, you need to do one of these 3 things. Now, if you can do all of them, you have a home run, but it doesn't have to be all of them. You need at least one of them. So what is empowering? Empowering is just making someone feel good. That's why quote images and personal development and mindfulness and mindset is a huge piece of being a successful entrepreneur, but it's also a huge piece of just being a successful person, parent, partner, spouse, member of the community, you name it. Like, personal development is important. So if you can share things that make people feel better and improve their lives, they will be attracted to you. Education is also important. So if you can teach someone something, one of the most engaging videos I ever got was teaching people how to open a banana. Now, I know what you're thinking. Everyone knows how to do that, right? But no, we do it all wrong. See, we open it from the wrong end. Have you ever had to fight the end of a banana, and by the time you were done, you mushed it all up, or you couldn't even get it to rip off? Well, if you watch a monkey in the wild, they open it from the other end and they just pinch it and pull it apart. And it works 100% of the time. You never have to fight the banana. So that video was entertaining and educational. So what ultimately happened, man, this is going to drive me nuts. So what ultimately happened is people got a lot of, they were like, wow, that's interesting. It's kind of educational. Not that people really needed to know how to open a banana, but they're like, wow, that's really entertaining too. So it got a lot of engagement and a lot of interaction. And here's the cool thing. If you can make someone laugh, if you can entertain someone, if you can teach them something, if you can make them feel good, they'll keep coming back over and over and over and over again. So some of the best videos are actually the ones that you don't even like because maybe you messed up or maybe it wasn't perfect or maybe something happened. I mean, I've had kids run through the video. Did any of you see the video where the guy's like, I think he was like a news reporter or something, and he was working from home and he's like live broadcast, and his kid runs into the room and he's like losing his mind. His wife's like on the floor crawling in, trying to grab the kid and pull the kid out. I mean, totally hilarious. absolutely entertaining, and things like that can work to your advantage. Now, I'm not saying you have to be intentionally make a fool out of yourself, although some people like self-deprecation, but education, teaching someone about real estate, teaching someone about fitness, teaching someone about parenting, any of these things will make your videos better. So here's a couple of tips, a couple of ideas that you can use to maybe start thinking about what kind of videos that you can create. One is the digital mayor strategy. And for those of you that know who Gary Vaynerchuk is, this was one of the things he talks about a lot. Like, what do you think about when you think about the mayor of the city, right? He's going around, he's interacting with the community, special events, businesses, right? So the digital mayor is just the person about town. It's like a business is opening or an event's happening or something's going on in the community, and you can just go live, or you can create videos and you can talk to people about what's going on in your local community. You could be a foodie and you could go order food and review food at different restaurants. Could be news, could be your favorite brunch places, could be, your favorite lunch places, could be your favorite brewery, could be your favorite whatever. But you could get out there and you could get into the community and you could highlight these businesses in your local community, and really people would enjoy that. You could be like a business insider. It could be all about businesses that are open, businesses that are closing, businesses that are hiring, businesses that are firing, businesses that are growing, businesses that are dying, businesses that are new or unique, businesses that service for kids, for families, professional. Think about it. You can just business yourself to death. We talked about the educational piece. I want you to think about this. You could be an expert, which is the know-it-all, is someone that knows everything about a business or an idea, a concept that you could teach people, which is great. And if you are an expert, I've probably got expert level knowledge in the fitness world. Doesn't mean I know it all. It means I know an awful lot more than most people. I've got expert level, in education or experience in real estate and in marketing and in sales. So, I could take an expert perspective. Doesn't mean I know it all. I can learn more and share that with people. But expert, more than most, right? But that's sometimes intimidating for people to think like, wow, how am I going to who am I to act like I know it all about anything? And that intimidates most people, and it should. What's generally better for most people is what I call the explorer. It's learning out loud. It's, I read this book and here's what I learned. I watched this video and here's what I learned. I listened to this podcast and this is what it meant to me. Or, you're learning out loud. You had this experience. You went on this vacation. You took this trip. You learned this thing. You had this problem. You had this challenge that you overcame. You are learning out loud. You're sharing these experiences with your audience. And if it's, if your personal brand is about, health and beauty, like as you're learning these things, other people that are interested in these things are going to be attracted to you. And most people would be like, what's health and beauty have to do with real estate? Well, I had one coaching client that I taught, and she had over a decade of experience in like high level facial spas, and people paid hundreds of dollars to the spa for her to give them a facial. And I said, why don't you just do a series like beauty tips by a top producing realtor, because your house isn't the only thing that needs to look good to sell. And she's like, oh my God, that's crazy. But when I say it, it's like, oh, I can see how that works. Y'all, that works dog walking. You could be the dog walker to find all the best neighborhoods with all the best dog parks, or the dog walking trails, or the dog whatever, right? Just think about how you can tie your personal experience into a learning experience for someone else. A youth sports reporter, you could go around and cover all the sporting events for all the high school football, baseball, basketball, right? I have kids that are coming up into youth sports, so that might be cool. Wine, beer tasting, whatever it is. Here's the key. It needs to be hyper local. If I had a nickel for every agent that's like, oh, what area do you focus on? All of Atlanta, all of Georgia. I'll take a client in California. No, Denny, that's stupid. No, I wouldn't fly to California. Yeah, but why would you drive from Peachtree City to Alpharetta? You might as well fly to California. That takes forever. Refer that out. You should be creating content that's specific to your local market so that you can get those people connected to you. And so that when they think of you, they think of that local market. So you want to narrow your niche. Now, it can't be too narrow. It can't be, rocket scientists that live in Duluth, because there's probably only one, if any. But the fear is that if you narrow your niche, that the other people that are outside of your target market aren't going to hire you. And that's not true. Just because you work with first-time home buyers doesn't mean someone buying their second home won't hire you. It doesn't work that way. But think about how you can better connect with people when you're focused on a niche. And then those people, even if you work with, retirees and empty nesters, they'll refer their kid to you or their friend. So don't worry about, narrowing your target market. It should be. That's actually how you better connect with people. When they hear your message, they will be attracted to you. And then leverage other people. Like, it's no secret, Peter, my partner, Peter, he was on national TV flipping houses. I leverage his influence. That's how I broke into the real estate industry, is I just rode his coattails and then established my authority and influence. And then I had my own following. But how can you connect with other people that have leverage and influence and an audience and experience in an area that is closely associated with your niche? So now it doesn't mean that you don't have to provide value and that you don't have to do a great job. You do, but you can use those influencers in your life to open those doors and get you an opportunity, if that makes sense. And really I say all that, and the two most important things are, one, all of your content should be value driven. It should be focused on other people, not on you. How can you serve them? How can you help them? How can you, make their life better? And if you do that, and you do that consistently, not one video occasionally, every single week, every single day, you're constantly producing new content that serves that specific target market. And the cool thing, again, is creating content is as simple as your smartphone. And most people have one of those in their pocket all day long. I don't use social media for fun. I use social media to make money, and you should too. So what is the best fuel for your marketing engine? And that is what I like to call an IPA. Now, yes, I do like beers, particularly IPAs, but I'm not talking about beer. I'm talking about income producing activities. How can you couple your marketing, your farming, you're planting seeds and nurturing it and growing relationships, you're creating all this content, people are learning who you are, you're connecting with more people, you're serving them through your content, people are attracted to you, and how do you engage them? How do you convert all those likes on your videos to actual listings? And that is by doing the hunting, by doing the income producing activities, being proactively and reaching out to your sphere. It could be happy birthdays and Christmas and all the things that realtors do around holidays. It could be client referral, like you could do referral events. You cold call a FSBO or an expired. If you're into cold calling FSBOs and expireds, what do you think one of the first things they're going to do when they get off the phone with you is? They're going to Google you. And would you like that to be haphazard and random stuff that pops up? Or would you like it to be a message that you have controlled, that you have constructed, that you have created? See, when people Google you, then they should find your Facebook, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your Pinterest, your YouTube, your blog, your podcast, all the things that you're creating along with, right? Your Zillow and your realtor.com are going to pop. All these things are going to pop up, and you want to control that narrative. You want them to see the person that they want to do business with. It's like a pre-listing packet. But instead of sending it out to them, it sells you in advance. So if you're using Facebook leads or Zillow leads or FSBOs or expireds, like this will make all of that easier. I can't tell you how many people, when I meet them for the first time, they're already like, know everything about me. It's because they've already done their research and they've already decided that they like me or that they don't. And I'm cool with whatever, because I don't need them all. I just need the ones that want to do business with me. If you're door knocking, if you're networking, if you're farming your local, area, if you're in B&Is or referral groups or real estate connections, if you're doing any of that stuff, and you should be, then all of that is made better together. It's dynamic, it's synergistic, it's offline, online, social media, marketing, direct reach out, all of that stuff works together. So, if you're developing, you should, by the way, if there's anything that y'all have learned in the last couple of weeks and months with Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and all the social platforms who are now, I don't care if you agree with Donald Trump or not, the fact that the social platforms, by the way, they get a special tax break because they do not censor the content on their platform. A news agency dictates the content that goes out there. A social platform is just supposed to let everybody talk regardless of whether they like what you say or not. But I have learned, and I hope you have learned, that in order to have equity and to own your business and your assets, you should be developing an email list of your own. You should be developing a podcast or a blog or some way, your CRM. You should be, nurturing and developing your CRM so that you have all those connections. And it doesn't matter what happens to Facebook 5 years from now, or what happens to Instagram 5 years from now, or what happens to TikTok, like that you still have a way to communicate with your sphere. So whether it's email, direct messages, text messages, any of that stuff. I love fundraising. I think that is probably one of my favorite ways to stay connected with people, is to do good through your network. Peter and I had, we didn't get to have the second one because of COVID, but we had our first Real Estate Connections golf tournament, raised $15,000 for the veterans, VA rep, the Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals. I do a ton of charity fundraising for Charity Water, which does clean water for people all around the world. I've provided clean water to over 1,000 people around the world, obviously my local church. But fundraising is a great way for you to connect with people who have similar passions. I always go to charity golf tournaments. I'm not that good at golf, but I know that the other people that are there share that interest with me. And it's just another way to connect with more people. And then what do you think they're going to do? They're going to Google me and they're going to see all this real estate stuff. So attending events, charities, giveaways, hosting events, running ads. If you run ads, they'll see your ad, then they'll go look you up. So all I'm saying is that in all of this stuff and all things, that just doing the marketing is good for a long-term strategy, but it won't make your phone ring inside of a week. But coupling your marketing, your passive marketing, with active income producing activities is the secret sauce. It is the key to getting more business faster. So as Robert Kiyosaki would say, sometimes you succeed, other times you learn. And I personally would rather be completely exhausted from the hard times, which breeds success, rather than well rested from achieving nothing. So hope you got a lot of value out of that. Next month, Peter Pasternak's going to be continuing this conversation, talking about LinkedIn. And on February 1st, we are starting a 21-day challenge for realtors in the video marketing space. And if you haven't yet, please connect with us in our Facebook group, Real Estate Connections. And hopefully one day soon, we'll be able to get back together in person and say hello. With that, I'm going to turn it back over to you guys, and I really appreciate the opportunity to share today.
Thank you, Denny. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule and sharing with us. Congratulations on being our inaugural speaker in our Business Builder Speaker Series. Always enjoy getting together with Denny. Just a wealth of information. And if you don't know Denny, he's somebody you should get to know. The Facebook group was Real Estate Connections. So if you're in the real estate sphere with all of us, go ahead and reach out and join Real Estate Connections. Our next speaker will be Peter Pasternak on networking and LinkedIn, and that will be the third Wednesday in February at 1 o'clock. We had a question for you, Denny. What do you recommend for a good CRM?
I was just typing that in chat. I use KV Core, but that's not because it's the only CRM that is that's effective. Sync, Boomtown, Zerple, like any of those. There's a lot of real estate, specific CRM and lead generation systems. If you're just trying to build a basic email list, MailChimp is a really good one. Constant Contact has been around forever, but I prefer MailChimp over Constant Contact. But those are two just good email list for you to keep up with names and email addresses and phone numbers, and then you can email the database. But in terms of a comprehensive CRM that's got lead generation capabilities and a lot of, fun stuff that you can use for social media, KV Core is a really good program. Sync is another one that a lot of people use. Boomtown, those are all CRMs for realtors.
I've heard it said the best one is the one that you will use the best. It doesn't matter what it is if you won't commit to it and use it faithfully. So the best one is the one you will use the best.
Amen. I would agree with that.
Before we break, did anyone have any other additional questions? If not, join us on Wednesday, February 17th, 1 o'clock with Peter, networking and LinkedIn. And with that in mind, I tell every Monday morning I have a meeting with all my attorneys. Every Monday at 7:30, we get together, and I end every call with, I want you to go out and make it a great day. Not sit back and wait for it to be a great day, but go out and make it a great day today. So all the best in your IPAs, your activities today, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.